Guys. All right, protect your DNA. What does that mean? Well, there's people who are unhealed, and what's the possibility that they are pedophiles, but they're, body snatchers? They, energy vampires. They like to wear other people's energy to hide who and what they are. So protect your DNA that you definitely want to be chaste, which means you don't want to have children that are from pedophiles because they're about, making sure that they stay here on this planet so that they don't pay for their karma by jumping into, someone else's bloodline, but it'll take that bloodline down if you don't heal, become aware, heal your chakras, okay, which are energy centers and they're portals. So you're either manifesting what you want or you're manifesting the opposite. So if you're unbalanced chakras, if they're unbalanced, you're manifesting the backwards. You have to do all these things that these other people do. They have to hide behind, good energies and do everything they can to not be seen. But you're going to wake them up. It's inevitable. To protect your DNA, the only way to do it is to choose to heal and wake up and choose ego death. The second death that doesn't hurt you, that's ego death, okay? Meaning it doesn't physically take you out, okay? But if people are putting their karma on someone else, they can look like they're them. They do the body snatching, body swap. So you have to have discernment. How on earth do we have law officials that aren't healed and have no idea about any of this stuff? This is what they need to learn, or you don't get to keep your job because you're not effective at it if you're not awake and aware to everything that's going on. Voodoo, black magic, that they use this kind of stuff and attack people with it. They have to learn this, and they have to have their chakras healed, because if their chakras aren't healed, they're not going to have intuition. They're not going to be able to see everything. It's like being, held back from seeing what they need to see. If you're a law official and you're not awake and aware and have your chakras healed, you can do the wrong thing. And is it better to, follow what the divine and what God wants you to do? Or is it better to be put spiritually asleep and do what, your superiors tell you to do? Are you to fear man or fear God? Well, what if you believe that someone is God and you're doing what they want, but they're not. They're the complete opposite. So you've got to heal. You've got to heal your chakras. I've got a playlist in the community post, and this is my channel, Expect the Unexpected. If you're someone that steals content from other people, you're going to pay for that. So, if you've got any karmic debt, you need to pay that back, and quickly, because it's literally blood money and it's hurting you. Or, whatever you bought with the money, it's hurting you, because it's from blood. You took it to hurt someone else and keep them down. It belongs to someone else. So you go through your healing process, deal with whatever karma you have to get yourself cleansed, purified, so then you can be, becoming abundant, right? You only get that with wisdom. And yes, pain is a teacher. It's a teacher until you don't have to go through that pain anymore. Does it make sense? It's not that you go through pain always. It's because you were, how can you put it, like in the underworld, so to speak, that you're on the wrong side of things until you learn what you need to learn to get on the right side of things. It's like, I'll see you on the other side, meaning you get yourself healed, do all the right things, and that's what changes everything. You see? It's the gold. It's, the diamond that gets you there. You got to do research, because that's what heals, like, the brain injuries. Why are there so many movies about memory loss? Yeah, you need to, understand that God is nature, not religion. That changes a lot. If you think that by going to church that you're godly and you're doing the right thing, the church is you and within, and waiting to hear from a still, quiet, small voice. Do you get that in church? That's why they put a bunch of people together so you can't hear. That's why they have, so much TV and devices and stuff like that, which can be used for either good or evil. So learn how to use it correctly by following the divine, okay? Learn what you need to learn, or you're going to go through actual death, okay? I keep pointing this out. I guess I'm going to need to just post it in the community post on my channel. But Hopi, Hopi, prophecy wall. It's very important to watch that, because if you're in this greed, materialism, and, well, I follow what my boss or my supervisor tells me, you've got to have your own mind, your own brain, to step out of the box. Okay? Step out of the box that other people put you in, and realize that that's what's happened. Don't be afraid. 365 times in the Bible says, do not fear. The Bible is basic information before leaving Earth. Basic. Does everyone know what basic is? You need to find the right things in the Bible, because there's things that are contradicted in the Bible. So it's that basic information before leaving Earth. Keep that in mind. Okay? If you're healed, you have all your chakras healed, and your heart is open, and you've let go of things you need to let go, you learn to get into the flow of life, everything's so much easier, right? This is a learning process, and people have got to learn. That's what we come here to Earth for. If everyone learns and heals, you're open to the whole new world, instead of this matrix and illusion of bullshit that you have people that are trying to feed everyone, that this is the way, and we're part of the government, and we tell you what to do. Well, who made you, in control? Because they work out of the fear part that they're in. They're in fear and control. People that are not in fear aren't trying to control others. There's a big difference. You can really see things when you do all this healing. It makes things extremely evident, and obvious. These people, the controllers, handlers, the people in fear, they tell on themselves and don't really realize that they're doing that. Whenever they speak, they're telling on themselves. So you need the discernment to, see that. It's kind of trippy when you can see what's going on that other people can't see, because they're under that illusion. It's time to break out of that illusion. It's time to break out of that fear. Learn about the chakras, because they are energy portals. So portals can be used to, lift yourself up out of the mire and the muck. Even if these people are here to, ban and shadow ban and blacklist and all that, well, if you do all this healing, you can get past it, right on up out of it. So that's, learning about manifestation and how to do it. You're always manifesting whether you realize it or not. They say you use 10% of your brain. It's because the other 90% is the subconscious, and the subconscious can only uh, take from the words that that you say. What are you speaking? Are you speaking life into yourself, or are you speaking death into yourself? We go through a process so that we can speak life into ourselves, so we don't have to go through horrible things. You literally get what you put out there. Okay? So the way that you treat other people, if you're stealing, killing, and destroying, well, then that's going to come from you. Everything that you did is going to come back to you. It's universal law, so you're not going to stop it. If you're someone that's being attacked, well, you've got to go through this healing. You've got to, so that it protects you from it. And Psalms 91, saying those words, it has meaning. You have to be able to know the right words to use. Use mantras, positive words, and you say them until you fully believe it, whatever it takes. But healing the chakras is the quick way to do it. I posted a playlist in the community post, Expect the Unexpected. So on my YouTube channel, because you may be seeing this on TikTok. But if you go there, then we've got that playlist. You can play that in the background, and it will help you to heal. Okay? It's there, to help. And I've got all kinds of different stuff on it, but it helps you also to see that you can look up like any frequency, any Reiki, or all the different types that they have of music to help heal, which is life-changing. So you definitely want to make the right choice. You want to heal yourself, keep yourself awake and aware, so you are protecting your DNA, and keeping yourself from other people putting their karma on you, from other people trying to do destiny swap, from people gaslighting you that lied to you your whole life, which they do that in schools too. I went to public school. Yeah. But, I went to public school, went to, like a church, as, we made to as kids. And there were a lot of hypocrites, It's pretty evident to kids, if they're awake. That's why they got to put people spiritually asleep. That's why they do that. So, yeah, I pray everyone can get this healing that they need so that they can protect their DNA and not have, you don't want to be put with someone that's a pedophile, because then it like infects bloodlines and families. And can't have that. Got to get that out. And everyone can heal, but you have got to stick with it and never, ever, ever give up. And you can do, if God's calling you to do a YouTube channel, well, that means you got to do your own channel, not steal from someone else. You do your own channel, and you go through the processes of what you've learned, how you learned it, so on and so forth, so that it can help other people. That's a way of having, money coming in. It's a way of working, All right, y'all. Take care.